Good morning, y'all. Happy Saturday. I hope y'all are doing well. I am getting ready to talk about obedience. Okay, let me take a swig. Side note, this hydro jug is huge. I know y'all probably can't really see it because of the lights, but and it's kind of heavy. And I ain't even got ice in it. So I be trying to figure out how y'all walking around with them and y'all walk around with them Stanleys. I have a 20-ounce Stanley. I have a 20-ounce Stanley and I walk around with that, but this I cannot see myself walking around with this like that's really crazy. So when I travel, I absolutely will not be taking this, but I'll take my 20 ounce because we got to stay hydrated. Okay, y'all, let's get into this message because today I have a busy day and okay, my hair kind of even. This wig, I follow me on Instagram and I am just wit, and I'll tell y'all about this wig because we're not gonna do that right now. Okay, so I was actually reading First Samuel, and I was like, "Oh, this is good." I had actually asked the Lord, like, "Okay, well, I'm not gonna go live because I don't have anything to talk about." And I was reading this, and I was like, "Ooh," I'm like, "Okay, Lord, thank you." The Lord be coming through. So we're gonna be talking about obedience versus sacrifice. And so I am going to read, talk. I have my notes. I don't have my glasses, so bear with me. So, long story short, Saul was not obedient. So in 1 Samuel 15, God told him to unalive everything. He said, "Now go and completely destroy the entire Amalekite nation." And bear with me on the words: men, women, children, babies, cattle, sheep, goats, camels, and donkeys, right? That's from 1 Samuel 15:3, the NLT version. But he didn't do that. He absolutely did not do that. Um, I want to say, let me go because I put the link in here. But he didn't do that. God told him to go do all that. And he was like, basically, like, I'm gonna do what I want to do. That's basically what he said. And honestly, that is how a lot of us respond when God tells us to do something. We will half do it. Um, yeah. So I'm trying to see if there's a point. I think he said he slaughtered. Da, 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 da. I want to say he kept like the good stuff from my reading. So long story short, he did all that, right? So then we moved down to 15, 20, and 23, and it says, um, so Saul is like, so Saul is telling, I want to say it was Samuel. He's like, but I did obey the Lord. Samuel, like, you ain't do what you were supposed to do. So he's like, but I did obey the Lord. Saul insisted. I carried out the mission he gave me. I brought back King Agag, but I destroyed everyone else. Then my troops, this was what I was trying to find. Then my troops brought in the best of the sheep, goats, cattle, plunder to sacrifice to the Lord your God in Gilgal. But Samuel replied, "What is more pleasing to the Lord, your burnt offering and sacrifices, or your obedience to his voice? Listen, obedience is better than sacrifice, and submission is better than offering the fat of rams. Rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft, and stubbornness as bad as worshiping idols. So, because you have rejected the command of the Lord, he has rejected you." What has God told you to do and you're bargaining with him? It is just the same as partially obeying God. God told you to get rid of something, and you're like, because actually this happened to me. I'm gonna give y'all a real life example for real. I I felt convicted to get rid of something. Like it was body products like the Yanni steams and stuff. And I did, right? But I also still had like the feminine wash and things like that. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of the Yanni steams, but I'm gonna keep the feminine wash. I'm gonna keep the body butter because I really liked it. So I'm bargaining. Like this is exactly what happened with Saul. He partially obeyed God. Yes, I got rid of the things that he told me to get rid of, but did I get rid of everything? No. Um, and eventually I did. So I don't remember because this is a while ago. I don't remember if I got rid of it all in one swoop or no, it took me some time. Now I remember it took me some time. So I went through and I was like, okay, I'm gonna get rid of this, did that. And then I was like, well, I like this body butter. And I'm like, well, there's nothing wrong with the body butter. So I should be able to just keep the body butter and this and this. So the reason why God brought it to my attention that the company I was buying from, they were saging their products. And so that is why I had to get rid of it. So I'm like, okay, if they're saging their products, what else are they doing to their products? So I too have partially obeyed God, but eventually submitted and gave everything up. So, because I had to take notes on this. So did he tell you did he tell you to throw something out or stop doing something? You tried to bargain with him. Did he tell you to stop did he tell you to leave that job? And or did he tell you to not work at all? And you're like, well, the Lord told me don't work, so I'm just go don't work here, but I'm gonna just go get a part-time job. No, the Lord absolutely told you not to work at all, right? So there's another example when I asked God for my purpose and he gave me my purpose. I had a beauty business. And he basically was like, "It's the end of the road." And so I'm like, "Okay, I'm not gonna sell beauty anymore. I'm not gonna sell my lip gloss, lashes, and stuff like that anymore, but I'm still gonna keep um, some of the things that weren't, like, makeup related, because it was beauty, so, like the African net sponges, soap, body butter, I'm like, "Okay, Imma just keep it, lash glue I'm keeping it, right? And I'll just sell that." So he told me to close it down. I decided that I was going to keep partial items. Why? I don't know. When God tells you to do something, he's not telling you to half do it. He doesn't tell you, "Oh, just well, he might, but in these instances, you guys follow me. Like when he tells you to do something, if he tells you to move, he's not telling you, "Oh, move here for just a little bit, and then you can still go back to wherever you was doing." Like, no. So, um, so I was like, "Oh, Imma just, keep this. Imma sell this." It still didn't work. I was just like, "Nah." So I decided just everything was done and people were like, "Oh, what are we gonna do? Da, da, da." So anything that I had left, I was just giving it away. Even now I still have things left and I just do not feel um the need to sell them. I just feel the need to give it away, if that makes sense. So anytime somebody was like, "Oh, you got this or got that," like my friend, she wore my lash glue and she was like, "How much?" And I'm like, "Girl, just take it." You know what I'm saying? Or I would just toss it because it was, like, really old, or I just keep it for myself and use it, okay? So, long story short is when God tells you to do something, you should do it. Obedience is better than sacrifice. So, I'm gonna go back to 1 Samuel 15 and then 24 through 26. So Saul admitted to Samuel, "Yes, I have sinned. I have disobeyed your instructions and the Lord's command, for I was afraid of people and did what they demanded. But now please forgive me of my sin. Please forgive my sin and come back with me so I may worship the Lord." But Samuel replied, "I will not go back with you. Since you have rejected the Lord's command, he has rejected you as king of Israel." So Saul was afraid of man, so he disobeyed God. And we are much like that too. Now, it can be something really big that God told you to do. It could be something really small that God told you to do, but He told you to do it. Or to break. Do allergies make y'all thirsty? Make you try something. So it can be something like God told you to start going live on YouTube and to release a word. God told you to sow $1,000 into someone and you like, well, I'm not gonna do the 1,000, but I'll give them, 500, 700. Like you're bargaining with them, right? And different things like that. So that's disobedience. But then you're not doing it because you're afraid of what the world is gonna say. So you didn't sell that $1,000 because you're afraid that, especially if you say you're married and you're afraid if your spouse is like, well, why are you giving such that ministry $1,000? And you're like, oh well, the Lord, and they may not see things how you see it. So it kind of looks a little sketchy. So you're disobeying God. Um, or let me see. I'm trying to get y'all like examples because this is real. Or God told you to leave a church, right? But you're afraid of what your pastor is gonna say. You're afraid of what the congregation is gonna say. So you stay there, right? And you're you're miserable. When God tells you to do something and you haven't done it, trust me, you feel it. You feel the conviction. If you have the Holy Spirit, I guess, cuz some of y'all don't be feeling no conviction. But you should feel some sort of conviction. Um and then I just look at it like some of these pastors out here are not feeding y'all the truth. They're spoon feeding you what is pretty. They're spoon feeding you um what you want to hear instead of getting that correction. So anytime you get any sort of correction, it's like, ooh, I ain't like the way they said that. And they could have been nicer and they could have did this, that, and the third. But they are pacifying you. And the Bible even tells us that um in 1 Samuel 15 and 20, it says, let me see, rebellion. Oh, wait, stubbornness is as bad as worshiping idols. But then it also talks about rebellion is as sinful as witchcraft, and stubbornness is as bad as worshiping idols. So that clearly says that if you're rebelling, it's not saying that if you're rebelling, you're being disobedient, and it's as sinful as witchcraft. So that should knock you upside the head right there. So you can be a Christian and you're like, oh well, yeah, these people out here doing sage and crystals and sound baths, but what have you not done? Because yeah, they doing sound baths, but you still haven't um released that word that God told you to do. So you still haven't sown the way God told you to do. You still haven't tithed. It's rebellious. It's as sinful as witchcraft. It's literally saying like no one sin is bigger than the other. Sin is sin, regardless of how you look at it. When you are operating in disobedience, when you're not being obedient, that's rebellion, and it's as sinful as witchcraft. Okay, so I want y'all to know that obedience is better than sacrifice. So, regardless if God told you to give away, you know, whatever, or to do something, and you decide, like, I'm gonna just have do it, just know that you are operating in rebellion. Um, God wants us to be obedient. He literally wants us to be obedient. Samuel said, what is more pleasing to the Lord, your burnt offerings or sacrifices, or your obedience to his voice? Because Saul basically was saying, like, I brought back the best of the best and I was going to sacrifice it to the Lord. But he didn't ask you to do that. That is the problem. We do not be listening. He did not ask you to do that. He said to destroy everything. Everything. God told me to get rid of everything, to shut down the business. He didn't say shut down part of the business and still operate. He didn't say, um, okay, well, don't work here. Don't work here anymore. But go get a part-time job. He didn't say that. He said to stop working. He didn't tell me that. I'm just saying. But he said to stop working. He said to shut down the business. He said to move. Whatever he has called you to do. You can't just be like, well, Lord, I wanted to keep doing this so that I can make sure that I'm tithing correctly. He didn't ask you to do that or to tithe. He did not ask you to do that. He said what he said. your burnt offerings and sacrifices. What is more pleasing to the Lord, your burnt offerings and sacrifices or your obedience to his voice? He just wants us to do what he has said to do. So, whatever God is calling you to do, I would urge you to do it. Okay. Don't think you doing God a favor because that's how we think like, oh, well, Lord, I'm going to just, you said for me to do this, but I'm going to just go ahead and do this because, he didn't ask you to do all it. He said, start the business. He said, leave the organization. He said, don't marry the man or don't marry the woman. He said to leave the job. He said, don't leave the job. Like whatever it is, he said to get on YouTube every Saturday and give a word. But you want to bargain. He said, get on YouTube every Saturday at 8 o'clock, give a word. Well, God, I just want to sleep in. Can I do it at about 9 o'clock? Why are we always trying to bargain with the Lord instead of being obedient? I'm just saying, we is me is we. We're all in this together. But I just wanted to come on here and really let y'all know and remind y'all that obedience is better than sacrifice. So whatever God has called you to do, I would urge you to be obedient. Okay. Don't be out here trying to bargain with him. Don't be out here being like, well, I'm gonna just do it like this and then I'm gonna sacrifice it because we love to go, we think we're going above and beyond when we're just operating in rebellion and it's as sinful as witchcraft. Okay. That's all. I will hopefully see y'all next week for another chat and chill. Make sure you like, subscribe, and share this word if it blessed you. If you are catching the replay, type replay in the chats. And yeah, hope y'all have an amazing day. Bye.